Today, first, I would like to take up the point which Baba gives us in the Vyakti Share. Baba today says that sometimes we do not recognize the very refined and subtle strings of bondages that remain. So, when we think about bondages that chain us, when we think about Jivan Bandh, we usually think about the iron chains, the big ones, the very visible ones, and we try to overcome them. We try to get over those chains. So, when we talk about the bondage of the body or habits or, the bondages of attachments or the bondages towards things. So these are the concrete ones, and we try to break away from that. So I remember there was this one Mata, and she was telling me that when I think about my bondage, then I think that having tea is my biggest bondage. So I just left drinking tea, because if I didn't drink tea, then I would feel uncomfortable. And what is the sign of a bondage? The sign of a bondage is this feeling of compulsiveness, that you have to do this, or you would not feel comfortable, or something is constantly drawing your attention and thought, and you cannot be peaceful, you cannot remember Baba, you cannot be in your Swadharma of peace. So that way we understand that some things are bondages, and we try to overcome them. We use yoga power, we use the power of knowledge. But then again, Baba always gives us a very good law, chodo to chuto, which means the final thing is you take that leap of breaking that bondage. So even if you have been churning on your elevated state and your stage of being bondage free, or you have been remembering Baba, but again, you're filling yourself with the power to break that bondage. But then you have to make that decision, having filled yourself with that power. You have to again, it's a decision that you take in a second, that from now on, I don't want this bondage, or I want to break away from this thought or this feeling or this act or this habit. So you have to break away, and that's a decision. That decision, if not taken, if you take that decision without filling yourself with a lot of power, there is a big possibility of relapse. So, sometimes there are, even in Brahmin life, you would observe that there is some habit you have, and then you decide today, I will not do this. And then you are able to even maintain it for 2 days, 3 days, a week, month. But then after that time, there's a relapse. And then you again go back to that habit, or whether it's a habit of thought, feeling, attitude, action, doesn't matter. But that habit again starts pulling you. And that happens because you have not filled yourself with enough power of purity and knowledge and yoga to sustain that decision that you took. So it takes a decision, and it takes a lot of power to sustain that decision. Then but there are very subtle bondages which we sometimes don't recognize, and only Baba, who is the ocean of knowledge, gives us insight into those very subtle bondages. So when Baba speaks to us, he indicates or he gives us some hints about those very subtle bondages that we have. And one such hint Baba is giving today. And I don't think that these bondages are identifiable if we do not listen to Baba's Murli. And of course, when we listen to Baba giving us an indication or giving us an ishara that this is one aspect of your subtle bondage, and then we look into it, then and we churn over what Baba said and we check in that light, then sometimes we will have a glimpse into those bondages which we cannot have a glimpse into on our own. And it is not possible to see those things on our own. And today Baba is talking about one such thing. And Baba says that there are many who feel that they have a good personality. They may not have goodness in them, but they feel that they are very good and that they are moving forward very quickly. The majority of you have those strings of being in a life of bondage. So Baba says this is a very subtle bondage that there is this, in the world we call this self-conceit. But then that word has no meaning in the world because somebody who doesn't know the self doesn't know self-conceit, of course. So Baba says that we children sometimes, because you see, we have been we have passed through 63 births of, a world of body consciousness. So in that world of body consciousness, what have we done? So we have practiced looking good and not being good. Yes, so we have not, so we did not know the method, we did not have the power, and we did not have the culture of being good. So we did not know what goodness is. We had no idea about divine virtues. And most divine virtues were very misunderstood. So if you look at, if you look at this question of self-respect, yes, so when we come to Baba, we do not know the difference between self-respect and ego. So in the world, self-respect and ego are the same thing, because just like ego can be attacked, self-respect can also be attacked. And people say that, I can tolerate a blow to my ego, but I cannot tolerate a blow to my self-respect. But then Baba tells us that self-respect is defined as that capacity in you which is beyond anybody's attack. So it is your self-honor, it is your realization of your own worth, and nobody through their words or through their actions or no situation can take it away from you. And when you say my self-respect was attacked, it means that you have no understanding of what self-respect means. And then, we have these very faulty ideas of goodness where we say that, walking away or avoiding somebody is a sign of honoring yourself. But Baba says the sheer fact that you want to, or you have this compulsiveness to distance yourself from somebody, that means that you don't have enough spiritual power, and that can never be goodness. So you choosing to engage less with somebody is okay, because you have your own priorities. You have your time and thought, and your resources are for world service and for self development. But you feeling the need to avoid somebody, or the feeling to the feeling to not be in the same place as somebody, feeling uncomfortable in somebody's presence and company, that is not goodness. But people thought that that is goodness, and then you are just protecting yourself and this and that. So there are so many ideas of goodness, which and goodness again, people think that being sensitive is goodness. But is being sensitive goodness? So would you say that if somebody has very low immunity when it comes to health, and they fall sick at every little change in the weather, would you call that person healthy? No, that person is not healthy, because they are falling sick at every change in the weather condition. And similarly, Baba says that being sensitive is like that. Any environment, atmosphere, any person's behavior, words, any situation gets to you, that means you are not a good person. You are a very you are called sensitive, and sensitivity is not good. Baba always says, don't become like a touch me not plant. But most people, when they describe their goodness or somebody else's goodness, they use these words: I'm very sensitive, or I'm very emotional. When I see people crying, I cry. When I see people wailing, I wail. When I see people in sorrow, I am very moved by that. But that's not a sign of goodness. So Baba says that we operate with these many bizarre ideas of goodness, and we do not know what goodness actually is in the world where we live. And when we come to Baba, there is this this false idea that I'm a very good person, and that I'm moving forward very quickly, and without checking whether I'm actually good, or whether I'm actually changing into being good. And this is a very big form of bondage, because you see, when we talk about treatment of a disease, then treatment of a disease has the first step of diagnosis. If you cannot diagnose an illness, you cannot treat it. And if somebody is not able to diagnose what are my limitations, what are my weaknesses, and you move with this false illusion that I'm a very good person, and you're not even able to take the hints from Baba through the Murli, because Baba is every day making us pay attention to what is divine virtue and what is devilish trait. But the thing is, if you're very self-conceited, you will not even get that. Because just like, when there is a cloud, then the rays of the sun get blocked. Similarly, this aspect of ego, where there is no goodness, but you think I'm very good, then this acts like a cloud, and then the light of knowledge doesn't hit the intellect, and the intellect is not able to discern that this is my trait, or I need to change it. And Baba is talking to me and hinting that, my dear child, work on this. And this is the thing, because So you see, we have confused miserliness for economy. Yes, so there are so many points. If you see, goodness and morality have all got mixed up, or if you see, people are confusing miserliness for economy, and people think that if you never spend your money on anything and you just keep hoarding it, collecting it in the hope that the children, grandchildren, this, that, and the other will eat it, then that is economy. But what is economy actually? Economy is having a fine balance of consumption, saving, and investment. So if you are not using your, whether it is the wealth of time, whether it's the wealth of thought, whether it's the wealth of money, whether it's the wealth of physical energy, if you're not using it for your purusharth, if you're not using it for Vishwa Kalyan, if you're not using it for world benefit, and if you're not even so you need to save some of it, and then you also need to use it in your self progress, and then you have to use it for world service. And if you don't have that fine balance, you're not economical and you are not wise, you are very foolish. But people think that this is economy, whereas this is just being miserly. And then you see there are so many things, like I talk about, being emotional is considered as being loveful or having a big heart, but being emotional is very body conscious. What can you be emotional about? You can only be emotional about that which is visible. Yes, so being emotional is all about being emotional about things you can see. So, or you things you know, like if you know somebody is sick, you will be emotional about it. If you know somebody is suffering, you will be emotional about it. But if you don't know, if you don't know the obvious reason why they are suffering, or why they are whether they are sick or healthy, then you will not get emotional about them. But if you're knowledgeful, then you know that everybody is in sorrow right now and you have compassion for everybody. And that is why being emotional is a very limited state, and being compassionate is having a big heart, and being compassionate has its root in being soul conscious. If you're soul conscious, if you're knowledgeful, then you know that even if somebody is not wailing and crying, and somebody is not playing the victim card, and somebody is not shouting and shrieking that I'm in acute pain, they are still in pain. And have you seen that in this world, people who are using their power of tolerance are penalized, and people who are making a big show of their sorrow, they are getting a lot of sympathy and consolation and support and cooperation. And that is why that is why in the body conscious world, even those who are in little pain are taught to shout more than their pain, so that other people will listen and empathize with them. So you are taught to play the victim card, but Baba says you don't. So this is not gyan, that if somebody is shouting and screaming. I remember I was once in a center, and then there was this one sister in that center, and that sister, she used to be very communicative about her needs. So if she needed something, she would tell the elder sister that I want this, or I have this requirement. And it's a good quality, not bad, it's okay. But then there was another sister who would keep doing her work always, and she would never ask for anything. And then, I was having a chat with the senior sister, and the senior sister said, I always have an eye on this one because she never asks. So I have to always keep checking what she needs. And I have to keep an eye of attention on what she needs because, even if somebody doesn't ask, that doesn't mean they don't need. And they have to be provided. And this is the sign of a jnani soul. And if you just look at, physical expressions and whether somebody is vocal about something or not, that is not the sign of a jnani soul. So goodness, and then, some people are very, so these days there is in the world also, people are making a distinction between being kind and being nice. So there are many people who are overtly very nice to you, but they are not kind enough to spare time and thought and energy to care for you. Yes, for example, your Facebook friends. So they are very nice to you. They will, appreciate your photographs, and they will send you a hello time and again, and they will just, be nice to you. But then the one you're living with is kind to you. They're looking after your well-being and what you need and stuff. But people, some people don't discern that. And then they think that, somebody who's talking sweetly is sweet, but they don't see how somebody is behaving sweetly. And, the kindness and compassion and care hidden in actions, some people don't perceive. So there is this culture now of being nice and not being kind. So that is not goodness. Kindness is goodness. You have to have genuine care and genuine interest in somebody's well-being. And sometimes you are just overtly, nice, but no goodness inside. And then what is goodness? Purity is goodness. So, sometimes the expression may be crude, but there is inner purity. Sometimes somebody may not be very refined in their external conduct and use of words, but internally their motivations are good, their practices are good, they are pure. So that is goodness. But sometimes people know how to cover up everything with a facade, and they look good, but they are not actually good. And by looking good, they not only try to deceive others, that's okay if you want to deceive others, but you're deceiving yourself also, because you don't realize there's so much of inner work to be done. And then, there is this tendency to always blame your circumstances for you being the way you are. And then some people choose to just say that, you are better because your circumstances are better. They don't know anybody's circumstances, but they would say, you are better because your circumstances are better, and I'm not able to do this because I have my reasons, or because my situations don't allow, or because I have these bondages. But the thing is, you are just deceiving yourself by saying that, because in the end, what you become will decide where you go and what position you have. So Baba says, don't deceive yourself like this. I'm just giving whatever examples are coming to my mind, but if you just look at, what Baba wants to make us, and you get an idea of that perfect image in the Murli. And when you listen to Baba's Murlis, and when you become Trikaldarshi, and you try to see what you were like in Satyug, and then you try to see what you have become, then you discern how much of goodness you have lost. And then just deceiving yourself by saying that, I'm great and good. And so Baba says you should have self-honor. Don't keep bashing yourself. But what is self-honor? Self-honor is knowing who you were and what you have the potential to become. But not knowing your limitations is not self-honor, it is self-deception. So when Baba says self-honor, it means that I know who I was, I know who I have the potential to become, but I also know who I have become and what is my limitation right now. And then I'm a work in progress, and I do not waste even 1 second, because this Sangam Yug is all about Baba giving us an opportunity to change from a human to a deity. So I want to use every second, every bit of energy in me to become who I have the potential to become. So this is what Baba is talking about. And until and unless Baba points it out, I don't think it's easy to look into these subtle chains which chain us and do not allow us to become the best version of ourselves. So Baba says this is also a kind of bondage which we need to get over. And then today Baba talks about having faith, and Baba says that those who make a distinction between what Shiv Baba said and what his instrument said, it is a sign of not having faith. Because you see, in the Sakar times, it was Brahma Baba. Now, it is not about just discerning which line Brahma Baba spoke in the Murli and which line Shiv Baba spoke. But it is also about, the instrument teacher that you have. And Baba says that you are listening to the Murli through the instrument teacher. They are explaining it to you, interpreting it for you. They are giving you personal directions whenever you need them. So you must have faith that this is an instrument that Baba has chosen for me. So whatever they say, I follow with full faith. And Baba has said that if you have faith that I am listening to this person because they are an instrument that Baba has chosen. So that means this is like having faith in Baba. So this is not faith in that person. This is faith in Baba, because you are having faith in the one Baba has chosen for you. And when you have faith in Baba, then Baba takes care that even if, there is some mistake that the instrument makes in giving directions, that mistake will be corrected by Shiv Baba. And why this is important is because if you do not have this dharana, then your mind will become confused and you will start taking everything as a pinch of salt, everything with a pinch of salt, and you will start, you will start having doubts about, whether this is Shiv Baba's direction or this is the Nimit's direction. And then when you have this confusion, then Maya enters wherever there is confusion. And then Maya will deceive you. So Baba says that this is why I have made this law that I will take responsibility of my instrument. And you don't have to, because, it is not easy to discern which thing the instrument told and which thing Baba told. And it is not easy, and one cannot carry the burden of that confusion. And in order to lighten that burden of confusion, Baba has given us this law that I will take responsibility for my instrument. So you just have faith that I have chosen an instrument for you and I'm giving you directions through them. So you listen to those directions and follow them, and I will take responsibility because you have faith in me. You have faith in me when you have faith in the instrument. So, this is something that Baba does for us to make us free from the attacks of Maya. And I will tell you, to the best of our knowledge and ability, every Baba's instrument tries to give the best understanding of Srimad, and they try to give you directions which are completely aligned with Srimad. But I have had experiences where sometimes, you are not very in yoga with Baba, and then somebody is asking you for directions, and then you give them certain directions, and then Baba makes it right. I will give you one example of that. So, when I used to do seva and work in the office also, at that time, I had to finish class very early, and then I had to just go and cook chapatis and then take to office. So, after the class, I would immediately get into the bhandara and start cooking chapatis. So, mostly, if somebody had to talk after the class, so they would stand outside the bhandara and they would keep talking, and I would keep answering at that time. So that day I had a meeting in office, and I was a little occupied with those thoughts. And then there was this one Mata, and she just refused to budge, and she said, I want an answer from you today. So I said, okay, ask me. So she said, my mother, she's I think 80 years old or 75 years old, and she fell from the bed today. She was sleeping and she slipped, and she broke her back, and now she has been taken to the hospital. And now we have to make a decision about whether we should get her operated or whether we should leave her like that, because operation may not be successful. There are very slim chances of the operation being successful. So then I was cooking and in two minds, and then I just asked her, what happens if you don't get her operated? So she said, then she'll keep lying on the bed. And I said, then what happens? What are the risks of that? So she said, then she will have bed sores. So I said, but bed sores, she cannot live her life like that. So it's better to take a chance, no? So I just said that much, and that mother left. And she did not. And then I realized that I shouldn't have taken that decision for her because it's her decision, it's not our job to tell somebody what to do. So in such situations, so then I just realized, and then that Mata went away. So then I sat before Baba and I said, Baba, now her mother has to be fine, because if her mother is not fine, then it'll all be on me, and that's not fine. And that day I did not even have the peace of mind to go to office, and I just kept remembering Baba. And then at 1 in the afternoon, the Mata called me and told me that, Didi, my mother recovered, and I'm so thankful to Baba for giving right advice through you. But I'm giving you this example. Why? Because, Baba made it right. It was very slim chances, but, because that Mata had faith that she is taking Baba's directions, and I had faith that, I am Baba's instrument, so I should be responsible. So Baba took that responsibility. These are one of the few instances where I felt that, I had been irresponsible at that time, but Baba took responsibility. So whatever Baba is saying, I have witnessed that. And Baba takes responsibility of whatever their instruments say. So Baba says, have that faith. Otherwise, there'll be too much confusion. And when there is too much confusion, then Maya enters that confusion. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Today's blessing, Baba said that have pure vision and or we can say realize towards self and others also. This is this realization will make us completely pure to achieve first grade.
Yes.
In Satyu or air conditioned ticket.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask that this purity of thought is the foundation.
No, soul consciousness is the foundation. You see, the law says you perceive as you are. Right?
Yes.
So if I see myself as a pure soul, then I will be able to see everyone else as a pure soul. So if I have doubts about myself, I will have doubts about others, because basically in this whole world, we are projecting our sanskars onto others. So the more I have this realization of my own purity, the more I will have complete faith in the purity of the other. So that is the foundation. The foundation is soul consciousness.
And this is dharana.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Didi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Om Shanti. Yes. Anybody else?
Om Shanti, Didi.
Om Shanti.
Didi, today from the class I learned that we have to check whether we are really in self-consciousness, soul-consciousness, or we मन में चल रहा है कि that we are moving good, we are moving ahead. But is it real or is it self-conceit? So we have to check that thing. Didi, I want to ask one thing, that if we want to change some habit of ours, and means we change it for some time, then again we fall back in that habit. So how we have to means how can we progress, and how should I take powers from Baba so that I don't go back again and again in that time?
So there is only one method to take power: churning knowledge and having yoga with Baba, right? So that's the method, standard method always. Now you have to do it irrespective of your consideration for that habit. So you have to understand that your effort has to be for 8 hours of yoga. And the more you pay attention to that, and the more you pay attention to churning knowledge, slowly, gradually, you will have the ability, the natural ability to stick to your resolves of, I want to get rid of this habit, or I want to imbibe this virtue. You will have that natural ability. So there is no shortcut about this. And one has to pay attention. And I'll give you many examples, like, when you constantly keep remembering Baba and filling yourself with power through that process, there are many things which will happen naturally to you. And sometimes even those things which you didn't feel earlier that these are points that you needed to change, they will also start occurring to you. I'll give you one example. There's this one Mata, and she said that earlier, you know, Didi, when I was humiliated in my home, so I used to always feel that I am not running away because I can't run away, because I don't have the affordability. And I always felt that I am staying there because I am very unfortunate and I don't have a choice and I'm majboor, you know, I'm that way I used to feel. And she said that I did not think there was anything wrong with this feeling because I felt that this is the truth. But then she told me that I kept remembering Baba and then I kept just churning knowledge. And now I feel that I'm not staying anywhere because of any majburi or anything. I'm staying where I belong. And I, even if anybody insults me, I never have this thought of running away or leaving. I feel that this is my rightful place to be, and my thoughts are not wandering anymore. And I'm just feeling that okay, I have to shift my attitude a little, and I'm not feeling that discomfort which I felt earlier. And I'm not feeling that it's my misfortune that I have to live here or be here. I'm feeling very okay living there. I don't feel not belonging. So these are shifts that happen automatically, and you start appreciating that which you didn't earlier. And so many things happen naturally when you churn on knowledge and do and remember Baba. That's why Baba says, keep remembering me. Yes, because there are many things which you will do consciously, but there are many subconscious and unconscious changes that happen automatically through yoga power. Okay? Om
Yes,
Shanti.
Sudhi, when you are telling about this thing, no, even I am able to recognize that earlier I was very sensitive. When anybody said anything at home, I used to cry. But slowly and steadily, as I remembered Baba, now I'm feeling that I remain very stable. In comparison to earlier state, I am remain very stable. I'm able to means churn some points on that particular aspect. If something, even if something happens, though it takes some time, still it takes some time, but I'm in a much better position than earlier.
Yes. Yes.
And another thing, Didi, some past thoughts were very were disturbing me too much. So, as Baba said, that you write down to me in a letter. So I put down everything, each and everything, whether it was my fault, what I feel about others, and I feel that after that, a lot of disturbance in the mind has reduced slowly. But still, I need to work on this aspect.
Yes. So you see, this is why Baba says, keep churning knowledge, keep remembering me, and Baba will bring about so much transformation inside us that things that we are even unaware that these needs to be transformed, they will get transformed. Okay.
But sometimes, Didi, I get in self-doubt because something, I mean, clearly is not visible that powers are coming from Baba, so I get in self-doubt sometimes.
So in those times, you have to have faith, you know, that everything will come at the right time. Okay.
Thank you, Didi.
Okay. Om Shanti. Thank you. Yes. Hanji, Dev Bhai.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So, I have a question also, and I'll share something. So basically, what I am taking, my takeaways from today's Murli is churning is basically the ocean of knowledge. Those who remain busy in service naturally churn and deepen understanding, imbibing knowledge first and then share it with others.
Yes.
Now, the question is, I refer to your today's class and the class which I attended physically on 25th of December on Christmas. So, what I understood, and there was the basic focus was on the karmic settlement of the accounts with our relationships.
Yes.
On 25th of December, the class. there you taught us that, whatever relationships we are having, the relationships were defined like, mother, father, brother, sister, colleagues, all those relationships I'm talking about. So basically, Didi, if I'm facing something like some toxic people in my life. So from the Gyan, I learned that I should stay away from Ninda or the vices related to those things. So basically, should I move like that? That I should start avoiding those people in my life, and if those people are, these people are these are into my relationship, or how should I move?
Yes.
How should I deal with them?
Yes, so you have to understand that one very important aspect of Gyan is separating the person and the behavior. So that behavior is a product of their sanskar, and the person is the soul. Yes, so when you look at them as pure souls having impure sanskars. So you don't avoid the person, you just avoid that aspect of their words or behavior which trigger something in you. Yes, so you choose what to focus on, what to not focus on. But if you start avoiding people, that means your vision is not changing into soul conscious. Yes, and another thing that you have to importantly understand in this is that it is not their words, it is also, where those words are hitting you inside, that's hurting. Yes, for example, if somebody gives a blow to you and that blow is on a place where there's a wound, then it will hurt much more. So what is that wound inside me which is making me feel hurt? So I need to work on that. And when you work on that, and then, so there are two parts to it. One is work on your wound. Second is separate, this thought that this person is like this. No, their sanskar is like this. And just take it lightly, that, okay, this is a sanskar and they talk like this, they do like this, okay. But this person is a pure soul, and have that vision. And slowly your vision will help you improve your relationship with that soul. Okay, so then your karmic account will be settled. And if you just avoid it, that karmic account will not get settled. And we are here to settle. All right. Okay. Om Shanti.